Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet. This is going to be the game of games. This is a very exciting game. This is Game 5 of the ZOTAC Monthly Cup run back in April. This is Game 5 of the Grand Final Series between red Terran player up the top left side, Polt, and blue player down the bottom right side. His name is Snute. And I've got to tell you, I have not seen a series of games between two players which has been as epic as the games between these guys. Alright, let me just lay it out for you. Okay? First two games, Polt doing his thing. He's done pretty much the same thing every single game so far. Starts off with a nice early Reaper harass, followed by a bunch of Hellions. The Reapers and the Hellions haven't been able to do too much, but then he transitions into Marine Marauder Medevac, sometimes with a bit of tank support. The first two games, his macro was exceptional. The Zerg tried to do as much as he could, but eventually the Terran eked out the win with some massive macro, and the Zerg was just... he didn't have an answer for it. Game 2, the Zerg just... really didn't have an answer for it. The game 1, it was a little bit more even, but still, the Terran player managed to eke out a win after a very long macro-intensive game. Game 3, I said, the Zerg player, he's got to do something, he's got to switch it up, he's got to get an answer for this Terran build, and our Zerg player Snute, he found an answer, and that answer was the 10-11 minute roach push. Game 3, he mixed it up, he did a Nidus drop, around the edge of a base, not on this map, but on a different map. He did a Nidus pull, got some queens and roaches in there, did a lot of damage, finished it up with a roach push. And game 4, he did another roach push. Simply beautiful. The Terran player that he's built, he did not have an answer for it. He does not have an answer for the 11-12 minute roach push. And I gotta say, this is game 3 all over again, except it's the other way around. This is game 5, and the Terran player... he needs to find an answer to the 11-12 minute roach push. This is my personal opinion. Reaper, fine. But you need to say, screw the Hellions. The Hellions have never actually done any damage. The Zerg is extremely good at countering those guys. He sets up a gate here, 2 Evo Chambers and a Roach Warren, and a couple of queens in there. The Hellions do jack shit. Excuse my language, but they do jack all. They absolutely do nothing. Here we go. A couple of Lings going to come out here to counter these Reapers. I didn't even have to look. I know what's going to happen because this is the 5th game and these guys start off exactly the same every single game. They just do exactly the same thing, and he's just using the Lings to buy time for the Queens to come out. The Reaper's going to try and do something. He's going to run away here, regen health, and get back here. He always kills Lings. He never kills any workers. Same stuff. My god. Alright, I'm sorry guys, but this is going to be a little bit painful here. We are going to see some Hellion harass into our reactor, and I've got to say, at this point, I'm not sure what his plan is, but if he starts building Hellions, I'm going to be disappointed in our Terran player Polt, because you tried this the last 2 games, it didn't work. The Hellions did no damage. It's not even that the rest of the game you might have screwed up, it's just that the Hellions did no damage. They didn't do anything at all. And yeah, what can I say? He's not going Hellions though. He's getting attack lab. He's building Marines straight off. And this might be going for tank tech. Please do not swap these buildings around. Please do not swap these buildings around. Yes, we have a tank coming out. We have tanks, so the Terran player is taking an entirely new tactic. He's going to get some Marines out there. He's pumping out the tanks. This is good. This is going to be a good counter versus the 10-11 minute roach push. And I thought my cough was gone, and apparently it's not though. Here we go. Again, he's going for a very fast 3rd base as well. We'll see how this goes. But he really does need to push out with the whatchamacallit. There we go, he's getting 1 tank. Please do not tell me he's going to switch over. Yeah, he's going to switch over to Hellions. He loves his Hellions. I must say I am not a fan of the Hellions anymore. I mean, it's just... No, no, he's going for Widow Mines. I have underestimated our Terran player. He actually cancelled them and built them again. I'm not sure why he did that, but here he goes. He's got the tank. He's got it nice and buried behind this force. So the roaches are going to come up here. The tank's going to hit him. The roaches have no chance of hitting this tank. They've got the bunker in between them, so it's going to be a nice bit of defense. He's definitely keyed up for a roach offensive. Meanwhile, the Zerg player, he's already got the gate up. He's expecting the Hellions. There are no Hellions on the way, so congratulations to Polt already. He's a Grandmaster player, so we can expect him to be very dynamic, and he is proving that right now. He is going for definitely something which will be able to counter these roaches. I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more Marauder play, but I guess tanks Marines still quite good at taking out roaches, so he should be fine. Here we go, there's one Marine. Getting some stim, getting his bases going out. Worker count, he's 20 behind. So, I mean, this Zerg player's macro has always been absolutely obscene. But here we go, one Widow Mine coming down there, one Widow Mine coming down there. Has he got fast burrowing? I don't know, but there we go. He's going to be able to burrow behind the mineral line. And that's good. This one's going to burrow there. That's, of course, the natural place to put a fourth base. And, oh, he's got to be worried about this. Please tell me you're sending an observer over there. There he goes. He's morphing one in now. He's already had one up there, though. So this guy is going to try and run away, but that is not the correct way to run. Correct way to run is not the correct way. And I don't know whether that's just luck or whether he knew the Widow Mine was there, but he's going to go out for this base. So the Zerg player, he's decided he's going to completely out-macro the Terran player. Meanwhile, the Terran is just going balls to the wall. He is going to go for a massive amount of infantry. He's really going to push it, and we can see the Zerg here. He's mainly going for macro, economy, getting up his tech, same as the Terran player. None of them are really building an army yet. And here we go, he's going to strip away some of this creep, manage to get that Overlord away. He's sending in a reinforcing Overlord to try and save this bit of creep. But small group of Marines going to chase that Overlord away. And there we go, good job. This guy, actually no, that's a changeling. This guy must have died. Is there an Overseer there? Yes, there is. So a couple of roaches go over there. There were probably 3 roaches before, but one of them probably died. Those Widow Mines, man, they do a massive amount of single target damage. And then the splash damage is quite a bit lower, but there we go. This guy's just going to creep over there. I'm not sure why he's doing that. I'm sure there's a good reason though, but these Marines are going to chase him away. There we go. He actually didn't even need to stim to get that. He just did a bit of jump and shoot, little micro bits all over the place. So good job there. Terran player, he's doing a good job getting on 3 bases, but the Zerg is already on 4. And now, the Terran player getting this huge army up, he needs to start thinking about drops. He needs to start thinking about harassing these forces. But here we go, there's a nice bit of roaches. Not a massive amount, but this is a force that's going to try and go in there, try and do some damage. Terran player is going to need... He's going to want to try and feed this force back into the siege tanks, but the roaches aren't stupid. They're going to hit off from this side. They're just working on the workers at the moment. However, they are not attacking the Marines, and that is going to result in all the roaches going back. So, not good for the roaches there. They didn't want to follow the Marines in because they get sucked in the siege tanks, but of course, ignoring the Marines entirely means that the Marines can kill you, and if you're not hitting them back, then that is very bad. But here we go. Zerg player, it looks like he's switching back into Ultra Tech as he was before. So this is his first and second game tech route. He's going to continue to go with it. And yeah, we've never seen him win with Ultras so far. He may have won in the semi-finals, I can't remember, but in the finals, first 2 games he went Ultras, he lost both games. Third and fourth games he won too early to even worry about Ultra Tech. So we'll see if Ultras can win him the game this time. Or maybe he's just going for a ton of Lings. Just going for Lings and Banelings and stuff like that. Banelings, of course, an excellent option going against a Marine tank. And there we go. These Marines going to survive. But a bunch of Lings over there got to kill a lot of stuff. And that is very bad. Meanwhile, the main Terran force going in here. Bunch of tanks, but all the infantry has been wiped out. And the tanks are going to get wiped out as well. The tanks hitting a couple of infestors though. And that's probably not good for the infestors. And here we go. One tank and one marine. Going to run away. This tank's like, guys, can you unsiege me? I've got to get out of here as well. Maybe he's using him as a rear guard. I do not know. But regardless, Terrans attempting to push in here. Not very good. It's definitely easier to push in here though than it is to push in there, because this grass, not very good for pushing in with siege tanks. Not very good at all. His two medevacs going to barely survive. Reinforcing forces coming down here. A lot of forces for our Terran player. He's going to try and move through the grass here. Maybe he's going to go down there. There's no infestors really close, so they should be able to do quite a lot of damage here. Here come the infestors though. Going to cancel all those Baileys, and look at this spread out from the Marines. This is just absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good job. And here we go. He's going to take out this 5th base. And that base wasn't really being used anywhere. He does not want to keep these guys together, but he still wants to move in. This is a very dicey situation for the Terran player there. And I'm surprised that he doesn't have some Widow Mines out here, actually. He needs to get the Widow Mines out in the front lines, because he does so well with the Widow Mines when he manages to move about and do some stuff. But here we go. 3-3 upgrades for the Ultras, as well as the special Ultra Armor. And the Terran player needs to switch over to a lot more Marauders to be able to deal with this Infestor force coming out. Not Infestors, Ultralist force. There's not a massive amount coming out, but there will be more as time goes on. Here we go. He's got the fast tunneling. The Widow Mines come down. Oh, they got to get a hit off onto the Infestors. That is absolutely awesome. One Ultra's coming down, providing a shield for the Baileys. The Baileys go in. They do a crap load of damage. Got some fungal growths going down on the medevacs. And that was an excellent attack from the Zerg player, man. The Terran player just did not have the Marauders, did not have the tanks to really push back those Ultralists. And the Ultralists allowed the Baileys to get too far, too close. There's just too much craziness there for the Terran player to try and focus down the Baileys. And add in the fungal growth, man. There was just no hope of the Terran player winning that battle. But meanwhile, we do have a drop down here. Bunch of units, but some reinforcing Lings are going to take care of that. He might be able to go down there, take out this Ultralist cabin, but the Lings are back in again. Got to continue to harass this one medevac. And he's not going to be able to do too much. The Queen might be able to take it out if he stands right on the edge. But then again, maybe not. And look at this Zerg player, man. He has managed to max out. Now he's got to move in. 3 Ultras going in there. I don't know what he's planning on doing. He might have heard the Widow Mine though. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. That was 125 damage. So now we know what their single target damage is. 125. Where's the bloody Infestors? How much health they got? I just want to prove that they can actually one-shot the damn things. I cannot... I don't know where the damn Infestors are. Useless Infestors. There's guys everywhere. How am I supposed to find an Infestor with all this mess going on? But he is moving in. Different places. Just testing the waters. He's got to find all his avenues of entry. Fairly heavily guarded. And he's got to find a drop coming in his back door as well. And he's got to do an excellent job of hitting this extractor. There we go, the Infestor's 90 health. So 125 damage from the Widow Mine's going to do an awesome job. And here we go, he's starting to get out the Marauder numbers. And this is where the Terran player did really well in game 1 and 2. Getting out those Marauders, countering the Ultras, going in there doing tons of damage. But we'll see how he goes in here. He did some very nice job in the first game with the Ravens countering the Infestors. We'll see if he can do it again. He's definitely countering the Ultralists here. He's definitely pushing in, evening up the numbers quite a lot. He's producing a crap load of units. Look at this guy though, he's producing a crap load of units. He just maxed out, he like lost half his army, he just maxed out on Lings once again. And the Terran player does not have that many tanks, but he does have a crap load of Widow Mines though, so Widow Mine's going to do an exceptional job of taking out the Lings. And we'll see what happens here. I mean, the Terran player secured this 4th base. He has to keep this up. And this base is pretty impregnable. Fuck, I don't know how to say that word. Whatever. You can't kill this goddamn base, alright? There's too many freaking spine crawlers in the way. Spine crawlers. Anyway, this base is going to get taken out. He's going to take out this guy. Maybe he's thinking about getting another base there, but these guys are going to walk it out. Tell me he's going to take out this hatchery. I don't think he is. Where are these guys going? He's going to try and take it out. He's not quite going to. No doubt the Zerg player would have cancelled that. Here we go. He's got a planetary on the 4th though, but this is just way too much. Bailey's got to go in. wipe out all the workers. That is devastating for our Terran player. Meanwhile, he's doing a massive push in here. If he takes out this base, then that is going to be very bad for the Zerg player. Meanwhile, though, the Zerg continuing on to go into his main base. He's got a planetary fortress up there. It's going to take out a lot of the Lings, but it's not going to help too much. The Terran dropping down here. The Terran pushing down here, but he's in a lot of trouble back in his base. This Zerg army is quite scary at the moment, but so is this Terran army. However, I think the Zerg can probably do more stuff. He's got some fungal growth back in his base. He's still got the infestors back here. And that is going to whittle that number down very, very hard. The Terran player, he's got a decent amount of forces here. He can probably shelve off these forces. And each player has gone down a base. And Terran has wiped out this fourth here. The Zerg has wiped down this fourth here. These forces are going to get taken out. These forces doing alright, but these forces coming back. The Zerg forces coming back to wipe out these forces. And I realise it's a bit confusing when I say these forces and those forces all over the place, but the point is this game is awesome. There is crap going on all over the place, and I think both players are sort of evened out. I will say the Zerg player is a little bit ahead though, because he managed to get up this hatchery. The Terran tried to take this out before, didn't quite manage it. If we have a look at the income tab, man, so many harvesters lost. The Baneling's going in here, really doing some massive damage over there. Actually, he managed to save this base, so that's not bad, but the amount of workers that he's got, oh, it's just absolutely horrendous, man. The Zerg player, he lost an equal number of bases, but he did not lose the workers, and the Terran player did lose his workers, so not going to be good for the Terran player. He's really got to pull something out of the hat to manage to stave off this attack. And I really don't know if he could do it, because game 1 and 2 aside, the Zerg player has managed to make the Ultra Roach Infestor play work for him in this game. He's managed to do a lot of damage to all these units. He's managed to get out a stupid number of Ultras with max upgrades, and I think it's getting very close to the point where the Terrans just will not have enough to actually deal with this. He's trying to get out units, but his economy has been crippled almost. He's got a third of the workers now. Must have lost a couple more from the Terran player, sorry, the Zerg player, sorry, going in there. And the Zerg player, man, all he needs to do is just run in there and start taking shit out. I think he's got to do the smart thing versus these Widow Mines. I'd love to see some infested Terrans thrown in there. Infested Terrans would be a great counter to Widow Mines, but he's just got to run in there with his forces. Terran has built up quite a lot though. This is a lot more than I would have thought he'd have at this point. And he's really got to go in there, do a lot of damage. He's got them spread out really nicely, so the fungal growths aren't going to do that much. But there's just so many Zerg forces. There's just Ultras all over the place. He's got to pull back, got to try and counter him on this ramp. But that's got to lose him this base as well. The Zerg does still not have any actual anti-air forces other than the infested Terrans. Meanwhile, he's doing a drop down there. He's managed to take out this base. But this base is the one that he really needs to hit. If he could hit this base, take it out, take out all these workers, I could say that he'd be back in the game. But right now, these forces just going to take it out. There he goes. He's going to shoot straight over there. Infestors, will they fungal it? They managed to fungal it. And that is going to be the end of that harassment there. A couple of Ultras over there. The Terran force manages to get up a decent amount of forces there. Still not as good as the Zerg player though, but they're going to be good enough. This medevac manages to survive. He's got to push in there though, got to take out this base. This base goes up in the air. You can't fungal buildings though, so there's not much the Zerg player can do about that at the moment. He's actually getting some Banshees up now. He knows the Zerg has no anti-air, and these guys, I don't know if they're going to be worth it, but yeah, they should be able to do a fair amount of damage. Fungal is going to take ages to kill the bloody Banshees, though, or maybe not. They only got 140 health, but there we go. These guys going in, taking out a lot of buildings. They really need to take this base out, though. And that base is what's keeping the Zerg player in the game at the moment. If he wipes out this base, the Terran player is going to be at least even. I won't say he'll have an advantage, but he'll be at least even. The Zerg player, though, he's really scared about this medevac, though. He really wants to take it out. And he's finally got two corruptors out now, so that medevac is going to die. And there it goes, got to die, loses, drops a couple of Marines down. And there we go, Banshee, got to just start taking out Changelings, why not? And yeah, he really wants to take out all the Changelings, but the Terran player, man, he's just starved at the moment. He's completely starved. His harvesters, man, they keep going down. What's going on? I must keep missing all of these harvesters being killed. They're just going down left, right, and center. Maybe the Zerg's sending in some... He must have like a infestor somewhere, dropping some infested Terrans down, but... yeah, just slowly going down, slowly taking out all those workers. Just a fantastic job there by the Zerg player, just starving out the Terran player, taking out the workers. I really want to see how he took out those workers, because that is what has won in the game right now, and I completely missed how those workers died. So we are going to go back and watch this after we finish this game, but right now it's just Ultras taking out a whole bunch of units that Terran player really doesn't have a chance anymore. He's trying to survive with mules, but it's just not going to happen. There's too many forces coming in here, doing too much damage, and this is basically going to be the GG for our Terran player Polt. He's got nothing left. Actually, he's got a couple of units here, but that is basically nothing. There's nothing he can do. He's basically going to get wiped out. I suppose he can lift up all his buildings, because the Zerg player has barely any anti-air, but there we go. He's going to give the GG, and our Zerg player, Snute, is victorious. Very, very well done, making the Ultras work, making the Ultra Roach Infester tactic work, and he really did an excellent job. I mean, going in there, locking down the bases, I really have got to see how he killed those workers, because that is something that's really, really good. So we go have a look at the income. We're going to shift back to there. Alright, so he's got 10 there. Alright, so he's got 26 there. A bunch of lings, most of them are over there, some of them are over there. So we're going to keep a watch on this harvest account. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on the Zerg camera to see when he actually attacks those SCVs. Alright, what's going on here? He just lost like a bunch of SCVs. There we go. He just had the lings bloody burrowed. Is that what happened? I'm going to go back a little bit more, because I cannot believe that a couple of lings just wiped out all those workers. I mean, yeah, look at this. Sorry, just want to keep an eye on this. Here we go. Lings taking out all these guys. All these workers going to go down. Beautiful Baneling attack there. So that's down to 51. I'm just going to watch this harvester attack. This harvester amount. Just running in here. Bunch of Banelings. Bunch of lings. They're going to run over there. They're going to do some damage over there. Faster, a bit faster. Alright, so that's down to 41. The rest of these are going to get taken out. He's going to move in. So yeah, just ling attacks. Lings and banelings all over the attack. Players just constantly attacking harvesters, man. He just did an exceptional job of wiping out all of the harvesters. And where how do I get rid of that? Ah, stupid thing. There we go. Oh, that's annoying now. Bloody whatever. So anyway, there we go. Well, lots of workers got taken out right at the end, and it was all the job of the lings and the banelings and all over the place. Terran player really didn't get a chance to build him up again, and the Zerg player managed to keep most of his workers alive. He lost a few over there, but he still kept 60 at the end of the game. So congratulations to him for keeping this game going, and for keeping his worker population alive and destroying so many of the Terran players' workers at the end of the game, because I think that's really what just screwed him over. His economy just went down the drain, and there was really nothing he could do about it. So there we go. Congratulations to our Zerg player for that wonderful win in the Grand Final Series. So thank you very much. I sort of jabbered on a little bit at the end, but you all saw the game. You were all suitably impressed. This was an excellent game, an excellent series. If you haven't watched the first 4 games, please go and watch that. If you liked these games, please subscribe. I'll try and find some more games as epic as these. I don't know if I'll succeed, but I will certainly try. And thank you very much for watching this series. Congratulations once again to Snute for pulling out getting 3 games in a row and managing to win the Grand Final Series. And congratulations also to Polt for just some awesome gameplay, really. I mean, he is one of the best Terrans I've ever seen. And the fact that he still lost this game just shows how good Snute is. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Harry Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this series of games.